This scanner is huge. I'm not sure if I received a scanner or a taser.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Manny, and this is Manny's Book Bag. I am very happy to be back in front of you with another video. It has been a long time coming. We're getting through the winter. We just made it out of the polar vortex. I hope you folks are thawing out as much as I am, and we're getting ready for better days. As far as what I've been up to, I have been very focused on building my Amazon inventory, growing my sales on both Amazon and eBay, still doing bulk CDs, getting heavier into bulk CDs all the time, and honestly, it's going really, really well. One of the side effects of listing and shipping so much inventory into the warehouse is that I have been pretty rough on my equipment. One of my KDCs actually went dead on me recently. So being in the market for a backup Bluetooth scanner, I noticed that a lot of you were talking about the EYOYO wireless Bluetooth scanners. I noticed that they were really cheap, and I figured I would give them a shot. I actually got one in the mail today, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to unbox it, I'm going to try it out, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. This is the box that it comes in, very generic, nothing shaking around. It seems pretty well shipped. I'm going to go ahead and take it apart, show you what's inside.
What came in the box. It was pretty well packaged, nice sturdy foam, safely shipped. Came with an instruction manual. In this instruction manual is pretty much going to be all of our different barcodes that we're going to scan to properly pair with our phones, and definitely to do things like shut the volume off and things like that. The scanner itself does not disappoint. As far as what everyone has said, this thing is a giant.
It's enormous.
Let's get a measurement on this bad boy here. It is 4 inches by 1 3/4, and it's a little less than 1 inch in thickness. Look at this compared to a KDC. It's almost twice the length. It is also wider, and the thickness, yep, it's a little thicker as well. So this one is definitely a much larger unit than what you would be used to if you currently use a KDC. It also comes with a charging cable. It comes with a wrist strap. And it also comes with the adapter for Bluetooth if you want to hook it up to your laptop, or if you want to hook it up to your desktop computer and basically use it as a wireless scanner as well. Now this device itself, the batteries on this thing, they are removable, so I'm sure that you can buy more and replace them if you need to. Now, it's my understanding that the battery life on these are really good to start with, so that's one of the things I'm going to look at. I'm told that they're a little bit of a workhorse, so we're going to see how they pair up to the other scanners. To turn it on, you use the top button. Now, that was really, really loud. So one of the first things that I'm probably going to want to do is I'm going to test how loud it is when you scan something with it.
Loud noises!
See, now that's really loud, and it's not something that I would want to actually have to deal with every time I scan something in the field. So silencing this thing is going to be pretty important. Okay, now turning off the sound should be pretty self-explanatory. The first thing you would do is scan the top barcode, and then I would want to scan the top one of these to turn off the sound.
All right, so that's a pretty good start. Turning off the sound was really easy. And then after I turned off the sound, another tip would be also turn off the vibration, because I don't think you want the thing vibrating in your hand every single time that you scanned something. So now when I scan something, no sound at all. That was easy enough. Hopefully the rest of the setup is just as easy. I'm gonna take the next day or two and I'm just going to set this up with my phone. I'm gonna scan a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna be checking at battery life. I'm gonna be seeing how it works, what the best way to set things up. I'm sure that those of you that have a setup with a sports strap either on your wrist or your forearm probably aren't gonna mind the size of this. Since I have always set my scanner up with Velcro on the back of my phone, I'm gonna go ahead and do it on this one and see how I feel after a day or two.
All right, everybody. Well, I'm back. I spent the last couple of days setting the scanner up with my phone, getting my setup back together. I've got it Velcroed pretty nicely. Handles pretty much the exact same way. Didn't take me very long to get used to it. And I got time to get familiar with it, paired it to my phone. I did a lot of scanning, and what I've got for you folks is just some basic observations. First things first, the rest of the setup went just as easily as the silencing of the scanner did. Everything is laid out pretty straightforward. You have all of the barcodes that you would need to pair it to your particular device. Pairing was pretty easy. You just scanned a couple of barcodes and you were good to go. The second time that I went to use my scanner, when I turned it on, I noticed something really, really cool. Within a couple of seconds, that blue light turned on in the corner, and what that meant was that the scanner, after cycling through turning on, automatically paired up with my phone. That was super simple. One of the other things that I noticed was if you were ever in a situation where it did not pair, you did not have to go through and scan all of the barcodes. In other words, if you're out in the wild and you're scanning books and all of a sudden the connectivity drops off and you don't got your barcodes, you're going to be okay. What you want to do is the scan button. If you were to hold it down for about 7 or 8 seconds, that would actually put this into pairing mode and you could pair it with your phone just as easily. One other note, the first time that I had to do a manual lookup, I ran into a little bit of trouble because the keyboard would not come up. As you know, you KDC owners know, you could just put it into toggle mode, and when you hit the bottom button on the side, it would automatically bring the keyboard up for you. This doesn't have any buttons like that, so it became a little more difficult, and I didn't know what to do. Here's what I figured out. If you double click the scan button, it'll bring the keyboard up for you. And then if you double click it again, it'll hide the keyboard and go back into scanning mode on you. Once again, super easy to work. You don't even have to take your finger off of the scan button. You can just keep going. Overall, I would say that the EYOYO scanner actually has several benefits in its favor. The first one and the most obvious one of all is price point. A couple of years ago, if you needed to get another scanner, you could easily go on eBay and you could find your KDC 200i's or your Opticon 2006s readily available on there for $60 or $70.
Yep, those were the good days.
Well, those days are over. A recent search that I conducted on eBay kind of showed me that. The lowest prices that I could find really were $120 to $150 for the KDCs and Opticons. Meanwhile, with the EYOYOs, you could literally jump on Amazon right now and order one, and you get it brand new in the mail, boxed up with everything that you need, the instruction books, for under $50. Another real benefit to the EYOYOs is just how easy they are to set up and use on a daily basis. My other scanners are KDC 200s, and when I first got it, I ran into issues with toggling to the keyboard. I ran into issues where my memory was full and I didn't know how to undo it. There's a lot of menus. There's a lot of ways to have it set up incorrectly. The EYOYOs are much simpler. I'm going to go ahead and link in the YouTube card up here the KDC 200 troubleshooting video that I made a couple of years ago. Most of that still reigns true today. So if you happen to have KDC 200s, that's something that might be useful. If you're looking to get an EYOYO, You can also look at that video and look at what I mean as far as a lot more moving parts with some of the other scanners. Another benefit to these scanners are the battery and battery life. I scanned with it pretty hard for about a day and a half, and I didn't notice any issues. The actual scanner didn't really seem to break a sweat. I also love that these batteries are easily accessible and removable and replaceable. If you have an issue down the line with the battery and you need to replace it, they're super cheap to find online, and all you have to do is open the compartment and replace it. You can actually buy a couple of extra batteries if you're going on a really long trip, and you can have a couple of backups on hand. I also really like the charging cable, and what I like about the charging cable is that there's nothing special about it. The KDC200 uses a charging cable that is quite unique. As a matter of fact, I think there's only one type of Canon camera that also uses that sort of a connector. So it's basically proprietary. If it stops working or you lose it somewhere, you're basically out of luck until you can go online and buy another one. I'll also add that the Bluetooth adapter for wireless use with a desktop or a laptop is actually a really nice touch and very easy to use as well. As far as negatives go, I can think of two of them right off the top of my head, and the first one I think is very obvious as well, and it has everything to do with the size of the actual scanner.
It's enormous.
It measures in at 4 inches by 1 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, and compared to your scan fobs and your KDC200s, that's about twice the size. So some of you with Velcro setups on your phone the way that I do, or in general looking for something a little more discreet, might automatically find that as a disqualifier. The other negative that hit me right away as soon as I turned it on was the volume of the beeping. The volume of the beeping is super loud, and it's not adjustable. So it's one of those things that you immediately are going to want to turn off, pretty much unusable. So overall, it's a really good functioning device that gets the job done. It's inexpensive, and quite honestly, you get an awful lot for your money. If you're looking for backup scanners, if you're looking to buy some scanners for scouters or family to help you in the business, I think it's a perfect device to look at. But here's the question of the day. Have you already purchased an EYOYO? And if you have, how do you feel it compares functionally to the scanners you've been using before that? Go ahead and put in your comments below, because I know I'm not the only one buying them. Well, that's all for today's video, folks. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to see me make more videos like this one, please remember to share, like, and subscribe to support the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and tap on that book bag right there, and while you're in there, tap that bell so that those notifications come whenever a new video drops. Until next time, let's go make some money.